computer teachers all the way from like middle school clear up into college that are complaining that the current generation of students have no organizational skills and know almost nothing about what a directory structure or folder structure is. And they're saying that the reason is that rather than thinking of organizing their directory tree as multiple containers, kids nowadays are like, oh, well, it's just one gigantic container and throw everything into it. And because my generation made search engines work so well, and that filtered all the way down to the file level of your operating system, that they don't need to have any organizational skills. They can have 900 icons on their desktop, and it doesn't matter if they're looking for a specific one, they just search for it.
Well, I would point out that all kids keep their school desks that way too. Like, I mean, that's like saying, why don't they put their papers in a folder instead of just jamming them into their desks?
Right.
Which, I mean, they've been doing that since I was a kid. So I don't know if it's this generation or if it's just the laziness of childhood finding a new technology.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my OCD starts to kick in if I have more than 20 icons on my desktop and they're not in like perfect order and I know where everything is. And then I start to wig out. And absolutely not, I'm not allowing any icons. Like if I save an image or something, no, I'm not having this C1007984.jpg. No, it has to have a name of what it is. I will not allow that crap on my computer.
I give them appropriate names, but they all get saved to the to sort folder. I never fucking get sorted.
That you never sort, right?
Yeah,
that's like I put all my laundry in the to fold folder.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
And it just never quite gets folded. It's there. Doesn't get folded.
So Corey says that he will not be home until tomorrow. So before we get started, I need to bring up. I'm leaving. We're going to be leaving the apartment 10 a.m. In the morning next Wednesday to go catch our flight. And so there will be no games at all next week. Wednesday, I will be landing in Boston, or hopefully already in Boston by this time. And Friday and Saturday, I will be in Portland, Maine.
Nice.
And somewhere in between there, I'm going to be in Salem. So
I'm
going to go find some witches. All right. So welcome to the Pirates of Drinax. We'll be picking up where we left off last week. But before we get started, I'd like to thank the friends of the Greenwater Guildhall. If you're watching on Twitch, scroll down. You should see some tiles there that will link to these people's websites. If you don't see the tiles, click on my profile image, and those website and tiles should pop up. First on our list is the Speechless Bard. She and her husband make beautiful leather products for your tabletop role-playing games. She has numerous leather products. They're all customizable. She has a wonderful artistic talent. If you are ordering for a gift or for the holidays, make sure that you give yourself quite a bit of extra time. I don't even know that if you order for Christmas right now, I don't know that it'll actually ever reach you. I mean, you might be waiting for it and not receive it until, March. But she is in the UK, so even under normal, perfect circumstances, it's going to take a little bit to get over here and make it through customs. The other company on our list is the Fable Beard Company. They make beard products such as oils, balms, butters, and co-wash. They have a full line of deodorant and spray-on colognes, and each of their scent profiles is a different fantasy character. Right now I'm wearing one of their fall scents, the Candyman. It smells of candied apples. If you are a first-time purchaser, you can log into fablebeardco.com, create an account, and if you put 2 beard oils in your cart and use the code FIRST in all capital letters, that second beard oil will be discounted free. And I don't think it has to be 2 beard oils. Like, you could put a butter in and a beard oil, and the beard oil will get discounted. I think it's always the beard oil gets discounted, but whatever else you put in there, I think it counts as well. So definitely give them a check. And if you like our Traveler games, we have a Traveler website, the Obsidian Portal. Just go ahead and click on the link for Cynther's Traveler game. The adventure log is listed in the format of news blurbs depicting all of the information on what these yahoos are getting up to as they pillage their way across the Trojan Reach. So you guys are in Jump. I think it's per day. So Cameron, well, hold on. I have to look at this again so that it's not very often that we have to do healing. Luckily. So yeah, roll 1d. What is your current? What's your current endurance?
3.
So roll 1d6 minus 1.
4.
So you get 4 points back per day, which means that by the end of the week that you're in Jumpspace, you will be back to, I think you should be back to 100% health because it's 5 days.
Sweet.
So while you guys are in Jumpspace, and actually, I'm just going to put him on here just for shits and giggles. Rexar's in his bunk doing Rexar things.
Grooming the pet.
Yes, his pet Discaran Redmane. So you guys are in Jumpspace for a week. Keith Clark, go ahead and make a engineering J drive roll.
Well,
okay, so yeah, that's pretty good. You are running diagnostics because if you remember where we left off, you guys had got into a gun battle in the spaceport back on Hernan's claim, and then you took off in the scout ship Obi-Wan Jabrobi, and in space you were attacked by 2 heavy fighters, and they were not necessarily kicking your ass, but it was going to be starting to lean in that direction. And so rather than wait to get to the 100 diameter jump limit, you jumped early. And so now you're in drive space and you are picking up, you're running a diagnostic on the drive system. And what the diagnostic is essentially telling you is that the next port that you land in that is, capable, you're going to need to spend your maintenance money and maybe a little bit more on the Jabrobi. There are bent parts and, blown gaskets, and you've got the ship pretty much. It's okay for now, but it's going to need some fixing.
Okay.
Now
yeah.
that's probably not something you're going to be able to do at Ergo.
Yeah.
What that translates to mechanically is from here until the Jabrobi is fixed, you're going to be at -2 on jumps until it gets some maintenance.
Okay.
So you are in Jumpspace for a week. You have down in your cargo hold is Prince Hatteratoral. He has basically set up a hammock between a couple of his container trunks with his clothes and whatnot in it, and that's where he's camped out. You basically have a week that if you wanted to, you could learn a little more about him.
Yeah, let's do it.
So he is fairly quiet and stoic. Hold on a moment here. I have to find all my quiet stoic stuff. I guess essentially the first question is, what are you, how are you going to try to get him to open up? What are you going to say? I mean, are you going to create like a communal meal and invite him up to join you? How do you want to handle it?
I thought I was laying around all like doped up on pain medication.
Pretty
Just
much.
like, so what was it like, man? Tell me. Like, you know, asking stupid questions until they wear him down, I guess. Somebody else probably has a better plan than me and can learn more. But that's my drug-addled plan.
Okay.
I think it's solid because if he's worried about giving too much information away, he can tell the doped up lady, and she'll probably forget. So it'll be fine.
So, are you essentially, like I said, is it like Firefly? You're sitting around the dinner table and asking him, trying to learn more about him. So, I'm trying to decide how much he's going to be willing to tell. So Captain Beth, make a charm roll. We'll go ahead and say that because of the drugs, you're extra charming. So you can make that with a boon dice. That's kind of an inside joke.
Offer to share.
I had a friend that I used to work with when I was a DJ. He was the cook. And whenever we'd go in off the job and get shitty, we would say that we weren't getting drunk, we were getting charming.
Oh, I see. I got an 8.
An 8. Okay. So he tells you, he doesn't really meet your eye, and he he just keeps eating, and around a mouthful of food, he says, "You humans, they refer to me as Prince Territorial, but that is not really my name. My real name is, oh boy, here we go. Tiahelwa Heteratoro." Wow, that is a long word that I can't pronounce. Of the Iwoe clan. But Prince Territorial is acceptable. They refer to me as Prince because I am a favored second son. My father is the clan head of Clan Iwoe. And he just goes back to eating. Anybody else want to try?
Wait, the second son is favored?
See, so this you picked up on that. So you know the way Aslan males work is that the first son is the one that is the only one that can inherit any land from their father. And the prince just told you that he is a favored second son.
So what happened to the first one?
He says, "Oh, my brother, he will inherit my father's lands."
Yeah, well, so what does it mean to be a favor in this case?
He says, my father always favored me, but I was not the first son, and so loyalty to the clan dictates that I cannot inherit the land. However, my father helped me by giving me ships and resources so that I could get a group of Ihati together, and we attempted an assault on another Ihati band on the planet Arunasir, which you guys have been to. Arunasir was where the treasure ship was initially downed. And if you remember, when you got off of your ship, you were confronted by this foppish Aslan lord who claimed that you were in his territory. And so you know that there are quite a few Aslan on Arunasir, but the reality is that they're not in charge of the planet. The humans that control the starport and city are. And these Aslan that are on Arunasir are more or less puppets. And he says the resources my father gave me and the ships, we took an Ihati band and attempted to regain land on Arunasir, but we failed. And that is all that I wish to speak on that subject.
Fair enough.
He finishes his meal and he says, I request, I have a request. I know that your ship is not going to be going directly to Tayok. And in part of your attempt to remain looking like traitors, I would like to make 2 stops before going to Tayok.
What 2 stops are they?
The first hold on. Let me wait, I have a map right here. So he would like to stop at Sync and the World. And I will bring up the star chart here so that you can see.
I printed it out.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to Sync and the World too because they have weird names. So we wanted to go to Fantasy and then Sync and then World. Yeah.
So yeah, he wants to swing by Sync and the World. He says for personal matters.
Okay. I want to go there just to see why they're named what they're named, I guess.
Oh, you are going to find out.
That's sweet.
The Sync has to be like a complete void of morality. Like it's just like the pit, Dante's pit.
Well, it might be, yeah.
Start there.
So did you guys have any other questions for the prince?
Yeah, so how did he end up
Yeah.
in the place where he is, or was?
So he says after our failure at Arunasir, my actions put my clan in dire peril. And other Aslan clans are threatening war. And my father recalled me back to the clan palace on Tayok. And he just kind of looks down at his food and kind of pushes it around with his fork and stops talking.
Okay. I think we'll find out more when he goes on his side quests.
We have to find more people with question marks over their head.
Does he have any hidden talents?
Aside from being fairly vicious in melee combat, no. But I mean, you witnessed that.
He should learn. He should pick up a hobby to pass the time here. He learn to crochet.
He looks at you all and he says, "I apologize for being quiet on my personal life, but I do want to let you know that I thank you for trying to protect Wheelar back on Hernan's claim."
Of course. Sorry, messed up the escape so badly. My goodness.
That wasn't your fault. I think your plan would have worked, but Wheelar, she is young and impressionable, and she tries to think and she's doing the right thing, but sometimes her young actions can lead to dire consequences for others. A lesson I have learned all too well myself.
All right. I feel like if we bruise him up, maybe we'll find out why he feels so guilty.
Yeah, that's an option.
So
You're not make a
is it Krause?
Well, make a recon intellect check.
Okay. Recon. 9.
So, yeah, you are getting the sense that he does feel some guilt. But more than that, you're getting a sense of deep sadness and regret.
Mm.
Does anybody have any years as a group counselor? Damn it. Really, we were missing a crew member. That's the one. Deanna's great. He's in here.
Oh, that would be badass.
So,
Oh, wait. Speaking of Deanna Troy, hold on. Let me get my list out. I'm going to look up my
yeah, like
I found it.
detect surface thoughts or something like that.
Yeah.
No, I don't want that. Let me see. I like to do service thoughts. Let's see. So it sounds like we're already getting a basic understanding of him feeling sad.
Right.
So I don't know that empathy is right, but what about reading surface thoughts? Yeah.
Sure. Go ahead and make a check.
Okay. $11.
Ooh, that's pretty good. I think. That sounds good. So now I'm going to have to get specific. Let's see here.
Yeah, so I'm mostly interested in if I could get any specifics from while he was talking about his past, because I can't probe particularly deep.
Right.
But it says current thoughts are read by this ability. So while he's talking about his regret and his sadness,
So,
I want to know what else I can get out of it.
specifically, you get 3 key pieces of information that he's thinking about. The first being that you catch glimpses of his memory of his failure in what can only be called the Arunaseer incident. So, essentially, he gathered together Ihati, and his plan was to hit another Ihati band's clan holdings. Because in Aslan, I mean, if you can't hold on to your land, then you're not worthy of it, and then the new band would take it over. But when he showed up, these Ihati were not only prepared, but had far more forces than what he was led to believe. Like, they were bolstered from what you're seeing of the battle. And his group of Ihati were just decimated. Only he and a few others made it out alive. The next part, as far as regret, well, that's his sadness. The regret part is that, as he said, it put his clan in some dire circumstances, in that other clans, because of the assault on Arunasir, other clans basically are calling for his execution. And this is why his father has called him back to Tyok, because if he is not executed, if he does not arrive in 16 weeks for his own execution, then the other clans will declare war on the Iwowi, and that will mean the Iwowi will cease to exist. They will be killed to the last man. They cannot fight off that many clans. And the last part, is his reason for wanting to go to Sync and the world. Let me double check something. He seems to have so you get this image of another Aslan male. Seems to be fairly well appointed. He's doing okay for himself monetarily, financially. But there seems to be a deep-seated suspicion in the prince's mind. Like, he suspects something of this guy. This guy did something, or he thinks this guy may have done something that he wants to investigate on Sync.
Yeah, like maybe his clan got sold out or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, his battle clan got sold out to the other clans, and he's got a leak or something.
Right. But essentially,
I'm not getting anything about his relation to the other guy.
all you can glean is that he has known this other Aslan male since his youth, and you get the feeling of almost like family, like an uncle, or at the very least an exceptionally close friend of the family.
Is there any taboo against cloning?
With most Aslan clans, yes. Rexar has told you all of some of his people. There are rumors and tales of a forgotten clan that has gone off towards the Great Rift and has not been seen again. But it is rumored that this clan no longer gives their land to their first sons. Instead, the clan head has himself cloned, and then the clone, when it matures, gains all of the inheritance of lands. And so the same person for the last several centuries has held the same land. And but
Further dawn and further dusk.
kind of like that, yeah.
I was thinking more like a prestige kind of situation.
Right, like maybe we could bring fake prints. I was thinking of a harrowing Robin Hood like rescue at the last minute, like the arrow underneath the feet as he's about to be hung, and then cut the rope and off we go.
Yeah, cloning for the Aslan is a very it goes against their core beliefs. But that's not to say that all Aslan have shunned it.
Okay, we need to make a side trip. We'll go from Sync, and then we'll go to Fantasy, and then the world. And if Fantasy lives up to its name, he can lift it up a little bit before he gets executed.
Right.
So that would be good. Oh yeah, the other thing I was wondering was that fake treaty that would start all the Aslan war stuff, would that fuck this up at all for them? Would this like make it not a priority, or would it have no effect? Like they're like, oh, okay, we all need to go to war, but we need to execute the prince first. Yeah, I don't know.
The fake treaty wouldn't really have any effect in this regard because this is inter-Aslan politics.
Okay.
For the most part, what you gather with the fake treaty is that the Aslan themselves are like, nah, we don't, we're going to hold to what we know to be true. And what they know to be true is that the real treaty, here's the thing about the real treaty. So the real treaty, there was one clan that formed this treaty. And so technically, under the auspices of law, only that clan is held to the treaty. But for some reason, probably due to honor, all of the Aslan are abiding by the treaty because they don't really want war with the Third Imperium. How long that holds out is really questionable because you've got all these second sons, these Ihati, that are chomping at the bit for new worlds. And so it is getting more and more difficult for the Aslan to hold them back. The other thing to think about, or that you now kind of are starting to realize, is that unlike the Third Imperium, the Here does not act as one. The Here is not a polity in and of itself. They are not one country or one nation. There are all these disparate clans that go off and do their own thing. So, as far as the Aslan are concerned right now, the fake treaty doesn't affect them. They're holding true to what they know to be what they've been doing. The Third Imperium is feeling the same way, but everybody in between, which is you guys and the entirety of the Trojan Reach, are shitting their pants. Because if this fake treaty is true, it means that everything that they hold dear is now up for ransom.
And if they were sabotaged, then does that like undo his execution order?
No.
And make the other guy?
No, because it's inter clan politics. But I mean, essentially, you guys are taking him to. You guys are taking him to his agreed upon execution, and you weren't told this ahead of time, and he certainly hasn't told you this.
Okay, yeah. Wow. Yeah, we definitely need to go to Fantasy, though.
we need to go on a slight vacation.
Do him a solid, yeah. I mean, geez. That's pretty
Yeah, we
good.
got to give credit for Hookers and Blow. He can have that vacation.
Yeah, I'm not prepared for Fantasy, but that'll probably be 1, 2, 3, 4. That could be your next stop.
Ooh. Early history.
Okay, so we're going to Jumpspace approximately where on the map?
You are coming out at Ergo.
So we'd have to go, I think we could go to Sync then fantasy, then the world, then Tayok, and then that won't look too weird. But right now, we got to deal with this situation where we really fucked up, and now we're probably really, really conspicuous if we leave here. So I don't know exactly what to do. We're gonna have to see what kind of shit there is to work with on Ergo. Can I read up on Ergo, like from the library before we land?
Sure, if you'd like.
Yeah, I want to know like how civilized the people are and what level of science and stuff is there. Because maybe we can bamboozle them a little bit. Maybe we can offload this piece of crap and something that crashed there or something.
You guys go throughout the week and you come out of Jumpspace at Ergo, and this is Ergo. It's a nice little blue-green ball. It looks very promising. I mean, you being from the Scout Service, you're like, holy shit, this is like a dream world. This is an Earth-like world. This should be a garden world. But it is a red zone. Who wants to operate these sensors? Go ahead and make an electronic sensors plus intellect check. Or EDU, your choice.
Okay, that's all right. 11.
Okay, so Ergo has has a number of gas giants. It is a very Earth-like world. The system, if you blinked, you might, not that you've ever been there, but you might suspect that this is actually Terra. It is a garden world. There are multiple gas giants. There is a rocky belt, inner system belt. In the inner system belt, there are automated missile turrets. Ching Shi, go ahead and make a piloting plus dex check and let's see if you can stealth your way past these turrets.
Let's see. Dex. Piloting is more 10.
So yeah, you are able to take a trajectory. I mean, space is big, and so yeah, they've got these missile turrets, but you're able to take a trajectory that kind of arcs up over the belt and comes back down into the inner system, and you are coming into orbit around Ergo. And Beth Smith, you pick up that on the very edge of Ergo's upper atmosphere or really low planetary orbit, you're picking that there's another Type S scout ship, and its transponder is coming back, and its name is Sam's Leaky Bucket. And you are detecting that there is a distress call coming from Sam's Leaky Bucket.
First rule of space is to respond to all distress signals, because you're probably going to find a ship full of corpses and a bunch of free shit.
Right.
We can always push him into a sun.
What's so funny about that line from Rick and Morty is that every science fiction game I've ever played, that's so true. Like, yeah, always respond to distress signals, because it's always full of corpses and you get free shit. So you guys are going to respond to this distress call and radio Sam's Leaky Bucket?
Yep, that's right.
Okay.
But we will probably not be hijacking their ship, because a bucket does not really sound like an upgrade for us.
Right. So you, on your sensors, you can see that Sam's Leaky Bucket is drifting. I mean, you can't really say it's listing because there's no up and down in space. But it is drifting. It doesn't look like it's under its own power. And you get a response back to your hails. a staticky image of this fairly older guy, but you can, even through the static, you can see that he's wearing an Imperial Interstellar Scout Service jumpsuit. And he says, "Oh, thank God, another scout ship. My name's Captain Samuel Kiegil. To whom am I speaking? My transponders are out. I can't detect who you are or what the name of your ship is. I can't get an IFF."
This is the SS Vas Deference, Captain Kiegil.
Looks like you're in something of a squeeze.
He says, since you're another scout ship, I can only assume that you're a part of the scout service. Is that correct? Or are you on detached duty? I mean, technically, yes. What you do on your vacation time, whether it be drinking or pirating, that's up to you.
Neither here nor there.
He tells you that he's run into a number of problems. The first is that what he really needs is a skilled engineer to help him work some problems out on his ship. He says, "You see, a mercenary vessel on temporary customs and enforcement duty boarded my ship. I had a couple of passengers. They arrested them, and they left me without an engineer and only a half rebuilt jump drive. That's the first of my problems."
Sweet.
He goes, I have plenty of spare parts. That's not an issue. But I'm not an engineer. In fact, one of the passengers was paying for passage by temporarily being my engineer and opted to rebuild my jump drive for me, which was working out perfectly well until these assholes showed up and arrested my passengers.
Did they say what they arrested him for? Or was it just arrested?
Didn't say, but she was a nice female Aslan. She had very good manners. It was she and her husband.
All right, well, we can help him with the jump drive if nothing else. Let's see what else is on board. I'm down.
So was this a patrol from the surface?
No, these were mercenaries that were on temporary customs enforcement duty, is what they told me. It says, however, I do have some problems on the surface of Ergo as well. I had a co-pilot named Farish, and the reason why we stopped at Ergo is because it's red zoned, and I kind of wanted to get an update to send to the scout service. And so Farish, we dipped into orbit of, or we dipped down into the atmosphere of Ergo, and Farish took off on our air raft. I then came back up, which is when we got boarded. But I've now received a radio message from one of the barons down on Ergo that Farish has been captured, and they're holding him hostage until I come back with some representatives from General Development Corporation. And he said he wants tech level 16 technology. Farish is a good guy. He's been my co-pilot for many years. He's my partner, and if you would be so willing, I could really use some help getting him up off the surface.
Okay. I want to confer with my crew, like not on the radio. But our ship is hot, right? Like we got chased and shot at. That sucked. So maybe we can convince this guy to swap ships with us at the end of all this. and then we take off and hit in the leaky bucket, and then it's not,
Yeah.
it's not, we land on Ergo and they're watching for us, and then we take off and there's bromine.
Yeah, maybe it's to be as simple as swapping transponders.
There you
I don't
go.
know. I'd have to-
Because
Yes, it would be.
if the ships are identical at a distance, all you need is the transponder code.
Okay, so
If we
we need,
convert both our IDs, what we need is a new ID.
well, is it
We
like,
need the one with working.
I don't think we got the ship painted up any specific way either.
No, the Jabroni still has all of the markings from the Interstellar Scout Service, which is
Okay,
probably why he asked if you were on detached duty.
so we will agree to help him rebuild his jump drive if he lets us switch transponders, and we'll help him get his friends back. I mean, you guys down?
Yeah.
I doubt that these people know what TL16 technology fucking looks like, so I could probably make some shit up for them.
Yeah, I'll pack a lighter and be like, ooh.
Well, they definitely know. Well, I don't know. I guess it depends on the age of the person you're talking to, but about 100 to 150 years ago. So your ship's library computer is telling you that about 100 to 150 years ago, Jadeco, General Development Company, came to Ergo and offered to put in a Class A starport. And all of the disparate factions on Ergo said, yes, let's do it. And there was peace and harmony and one world love. Everybody drank a fucking Coke. And then they didn't. And so all of the barons started to argue, and a fight broke out between all these factions that literally went nuclear. Atomics were used. The Jadeco, what construction had been completed on the spaceport, the Jadeco spaceport was hit and is now wreckage. There are nuclear wastelands all across the land. So it's not like these people are not aware of what higher technology is, but they're not living their best life. And Jadeco essentially at that point washed their hands of the entire thing and said, well, fuck it, we'll go build a spaceport on Tech World. And they did. And you've seen the spaceport on Tech World. It's absolutely amazing. You've never seen anything like it. I mean, it changes shape. It's wonky. But these people these barons on Ergo are convinced that if they can get Jadeco to come back, then everything will be golden.
Okay, so I think we should tell them that we have information that could get some Jadeco people to come visit. And we really could, like, if they pretended to have us as prisoners, like, we're wanted in relation to questioning about that murder on Tech World, aren't we? No?
They don't know. They know. All that anybody knows, including the Imperials, is that a Harrier-class ship may have been involved, but was seen leaving the system. As far as photo IDs of you guys, they don't know, because what happened on board was a complete cluster, and they don't know who was to blame for the mutinous actions that essentially you guys put down, and the camera systems were not functional when you broke into the vault. Thanks to Bakasura.
Damn, okay, we can't tell them out then. Shit. Okay. Let's think on this. What would get them to come?
We could go down there and try a daring rescue.
You could be heroes. You could be big damn heroes.
I kind of want Jadeco to have to come down here. Like, that's bullshit. They let the world rip itself apart, and they, and they did it because they had the promise of the starport, and then they said, "Hey, fuck you guys."
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
have to come here.
don't get me wrong, I'm never really on the side of very rarely am I on the side of corporations, but in this case, it seems like is really the odd man out here. I mean, let's face it, the barons that are down on Ergo get the Asshole of the Year award.
Okay.
Imagine
There's got to be somebody recruitable as a pirate then. They got to be tough as shit, right? Do they want to join the Alliance for Drinax, possibly?
Now, see, that could be a bargaining chip. Because even Ergo knows that Drinax has high technology capabilities.
Good.
Or at least, in theory, they have capabilities.
It's better than what they got now, basically, at least.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right. So that's our bargaining chip. So we're not from Jadeko, but we can go down there and help if the other guy agrees to switch transponders with us.
Sure. Go ahead and make a... hold on here.
Who's got the barter or broker? Not me. I think it's Qingxi.
Yeah, Qingxi, you want to make a broker check? You can add your charm to it.
Okay. So it would be broker and charm. Anything else? Intellect?
No, just charm.
No. You sure? Okay. I think I'm smarter than I am charming.
Then go ahead and use intellect. It could be charm. It could be either one. It could be charm. It could be intellect, education, however you want to do it.
Okay. Oh, yes. I rolled double sixes. So that would be covering 12, 13, 15.
Okay, so Sam is like, well, I mean, I don't know what your situation is, but you seem like a good lot, and you're helping me out tons. I'll definitely go for that. We'll switch transponders, and
wait till he gets pulled over.
And he says that if you can get Farish back up off the planet and bring me back my friend and co-pilot, then the Scout Service is going to owe you a big favor.
Nice.
Which, in my way of thinking, this is one of those favors that's going to be in your back pocket, and you're probably going to forget about it until somebody pulls your shit out of the fire. Because I almost guarantee you guys are going to forget that you have a favor from the Scout Service.
Yeah, probably.
That's the kind of air that makes me want to write something down.
Yeah, you might want to write down favor from the Scout Service. So Qingxi.
Okay. So are we gonna send word to which Baron has his man?
His name is, and I knew you were going to ask that, and I forgot to check what I named him. The Baron that currently has him is named Baron Jolstein Moore. So, Qingxi.
We send word down that we are representatives of the King of Drinax.
So you send word down, and all of a sudden you can't even do comms with the leaky bucket because your communication system is overloaded with calls.
Yes.
There's one Baron is saying, if you land here, we'll treat you better, and another Baron saying, you better land here or we'll shoot you down as soon as we get a radar lock on you. And another Baron is saying, you better not go down and see Jolstein, we'll kill you if you do. And so there's just this flood of incoming comms traffic. Somebody needs to make a electronics communications plus intellect or education roll.
Okay.
Okay, I'll do it. Let's see.
God, really?
I got 5.
So the chief is having a problem. He's having some difficulty locking onto this one Baron's signal, and it's just this cacophony of noise coming through. Ching Shi, go ahead and make a piloting plus dex check.
I thought we'd wait to contact them until we got the J drive rebuilt.
That's what I was kind of thinking, but
Well, I was thinking as long as we feel like it stays, we don't all have to go down to the surface. I mean, we could split the party and have the Dre drive getting worked on while we try and get a lay of the land.
I don't know that you want to do that.
Well,
And
I
then
don't know.
I mean, everybody's done.
Last time there was a disaster, Keith was the only one that rolled good. So.
Right. And there's only 3 of you this week, so
True.
Okay, we're gonna be like, fuck off. We have a day drive to refill. We'll get back to you.
Right. Well, this is a good opportunity for us to.
This sounds complicated. Hit the mute button. Let's put everybody on hold. Some Kmart music starts playing in the background. So what'd you get, Ching Shi?
Oh, I just picked it up. I didn't even look at it. But if we're fixing the J drive, then we can just tell all of the shouty barons that we're looking for the best offer, and we'll be up here until we get it. If we need to
Shit,
wait.
then they'll never shut up.
Yeah, just put like the voicemail on it. It'll be fine. But just like block all of the a-holes that are like, we're gonna shoot you if you don't come down. You're gonna just block those callers.
So what these guys basically sound like is, imagine if Trump, the president of Venezuela, Saddam Hussein, Putin, and Kim Jong-un were all radioing you at the same time, and you were the United Nations. That's what this cacophony of bullshit sounds like.
Oh yeah, then I would totally mute it all.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Fine.
That's what your hold message is. Fuck off. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Just I'd like to put that droid that usually fixes things on the switchboard.
Just let him beep at him.
And I'm just gonna record myself saying "fuck off." And he can play that recorded message on every single one if that's what it takes.
Yeah, your new steward bot is perfectly capable of doing that. The steward bot, instead of playing your recorded message, it plugs an audio recording of its vacuum cleaner in and just plays that on a loop.
I'm sure we seem really advanced now.
Yeah. He got a 6 on his roll. And his head kind of turns around and looks at you guys and goes, bah, bah, bah. And which basically translates, it honks, and it basically translates to, I'm a steward robot. I don't know why you asked me to do this. So what'd you get on your piloting roll?
I got it. I've now rolled it like 14 times because I keep forgetting to look at it. 12.
Okay, so you extend a docking collar and you connect up with Sam's Leaky Bucket. Now, shocker of shockers, Sam's Leaky Bucket has the exact same layout as the Jabrobi. And so, first of all, so Chief Clark, you guys, the door opens up and Sam comes out. Sam has a old robotic or old cybernetic leg that doesn't seem to work real great, and he walks with a limp. And he's like, "Oh, come aboard, come aboard. There's coffee brewing in the common area. Help yourself to anything that you'd like. Who's your chief engineer?"
That would be me.
"Well, come with me. Come with me. Grab a cup of coffee and I'll show you to the engine room, young man." Sam looks like he's probably in his 60s. Doesn't look like he should be out continuing to do scout service, but he seems like he's in fairly good shape except for that limpy leg.
Well, maybe I could fix that if I get some time.
Sure. So he leads you back and he goes, "Oh, you know your way to the engine room. Don't mind me. I'll catch up. This damn leg, sometimes the servos stick. I try to tinker with it in the workshop, but sometimes the servos stick, and what are you gonna do, right? I found that butter actually makes for a pretty good lubricant."
I do have a 1 in cybernetics. How long would it take me to try and fix it while I'm waiting for the jump drive?
So Keith, you get to the engineering room. Go ahead and make a engineering J drive plus intellect or education check.
9.
So the female Aslan that was working on this was actually also keeping detailed notes of what she was doing, and you can suss out exactly what she had done and where she was going with it. She was pretty talented as an engineer. So you're estimating it's only going to take you probably a day to get this worked out. Captain Beth, make a cybernetics plus education check.
While everyone's doing all this really nice stuff, can I see if I can figure out the ship's inventory? Like interact with a...
Sure. Go ahead and make a electronic comms plus intellect or education. Your choice.
Cool.
So, Beth, you're guessing that if you wanted to, it depends on how much work you wanted to do. If you wanted to get his current leg functional, and that may only last, a month before it's going to need some serious work again, that would take you basically a day. If you wanted to really do a good job on it and make it a functional leg for long term, it's going to take you about 5 days.
Okay, I'll do the 1-day job and tell him about the 5-day job, eventuality. But I know people who are 60 will take a month of functionality.
Right.
Any day. They'll be like, yes, excellent, and they'll be grateful for it. So.
Right. It's funny that you bring that up because I just last night watched an old Grey's Anatomy episode where the old guy comes in and he's like 82 and wants to get a penile implant, and his family is all against it, and they're like, "You're 82. What do you need to get an erection for?" Yeah, totally. He's like, "Well, there's less days ahead of me than there are behind me," and he gives the whole speech about being old. Yeah.
Wow, poignant.
Right. Yeah. It was foreshadowing. Ching-Shi, what'd you get on your computer check?
I did terribly. I rolled 6, so I'm hoping that is enough that I did not find anything out, but covered my tracks so no one knows I'm snooping.
Okay, so a 6 is good enough to get a manifest, and obviously he's unlocked. So Sam has unlocked a lot of the security protocols. He's basically given you guest access. So a 6 is enough for you to bring up a cargo manifest. Sam's Leaky Bucket doesn't really have a whole lot of cargo. He has 10 tons of spare parts. He's got, he had 2 passengers, and it seems like, according to the books, from what you're seeing, well, you'd have to make an admin check if you have admin. But it looks to you like the passengers were going to essentially pay for his next, at least his next 2 stops before he picked up some cargo. Mostly he was concerned about the jump drive.
Okay. I was mostly interested in his weapons array, or what he had on board in terms of weapons.
It has a single turret with a beam laser.
Okay.
Pretty standard fare. Not a whole lot of firepower. It's not like he's going to go out and be jumping any ships. The Jabrobi is way overgunned compared to him.
Right.
So, Keith Clark, go ahead and make a mechanics plus intellect check.
Okay.
And then the question is, are you using your AX-57 astromech droid?
Yeah, I definitely would be using him.
So go ahead and you can make that roll with a boon dice.
Okay. Nice. 13.
Okay. So you are getting underway. Beth, make a medic plus education check.
Go. 14.
Nice. So in a day, so the day progresses. Qingxi, is there anything else that you're looking over the ship?
No, I was more suspicious because we are a scout ship that's actually a teeny tiny gunship, and I was curious about if this was perhaps another scout ship, or weapon heavy ship disguised as a scout ship like us.
So
Above board is how
you
it kind of thing.
you
Yeah.
find a public log. So a lot of times a scout ship, excuse me, a scout ship will keep not only a captain's log or even a first mate's log, because a lot of these ships are either owned and operated by 1 or 2 people, but it'll also keep what is known as a public log. The public log is basically some of their scout finds. And you find that this ship is essentially doing exactly that. They are going to systems in the Reach. In this case, they are going along what is called the Borderland Run, basically all the way from Arunasir all the way down to Aslan space in the from Borderland subsector to Tliawaha subsector. And he's stopping at almost every planet along the way and taking as much of a detailed scan as he possibly can. He's used several probes, and it is noted in his scout log that on his next stop at a major starport, he's going to have to re-up his probes because he has used all but 3 of them in attempting to get data on all of these worlds. The Trojan Reach, as far as the Imperial Scout Service is concerned, isn't very well documented. It was a pocket empire that failed and collapsed in on itself. The empire never really bothered coming in here, but now the Imperium is here, and there are trade routes, and it is ripe for scouts to come out and kind of make a name reestablishing contact with these worlds.
Okay, can I download his public report and
Sure.
get it over to our ship just so we have the data?
Sure.
Okay.
In fact, I will show you which planets he has data on. So back to the map. He has data on Tanith, Arunasir, Argona, and Inurin. before that, and in another sector, he has data on the planet Homestead. And he notes, hold on just a second. I need to find a name. Just a moment. And you'll want to write this name down because it's going to be important later.
Okay, and this Homestead.
Yeah, it's on planet Homestead.
Okay.
Oops. And of course, I opened the wrong file. Here we go. He also has data on a planet called Thalassa, and it appears Thalassa is a water world.
And tell me again, what's the captain's name?
The captain of Sam's Leaky Bucket,
Mm-hmm.
Samuel Kiegil.
Oh, Kiegil, that's right.
And there's a side note that on Homestead that he met with a Imperial Security Service captain named Karbatkin of the Thamasis, of the scout ship Thamasis.
Carbacker from the Thamasis.
And it says that Karbatkin gave him a wild spacer's tale of a lost world.
Okay.
And that's all it says. Dun, dun, dun.
The next adventure. It sounds cool. I'm down.
So, Captain Beth, what'd you get for your medic check? Sorry, I know that was a long time ago.
It was like 14. It was super huge number, something like that. 14, I think. Right?
Okay, so on the basically the crew communal table, which is in here, you have him lay down on the dining room table and just kind of tinker with his leg. And you explain to him, well, this is probably going to be about good for about a month, and then it's going to need to have to be redone or re-optimized. But you just properly lubricate it and, tighten the nuts, and he's able to get up and walk without a limp. And that takes you about a day. You got to plug him into diagnostics, get everything, re-optimized and all of that. But when you're done, he's able to walk without a limp, and he's like, oh, thank you, Captain. This is the best it's been in months. This is fantastic.
So glad to help.
So Keith is able to get after a day, you and the AX-57 are able to come out, and the jump drive, you're saying the diagnostics are coming back. The board is green. It's ready to go. The only thing that you're seeing that needs to be done is that Samuel's going to have to go and refuel, probably at the most likely place. I mean, obviously, Samuel's not going to want to land here to try and get any fuel, and you doubt that he'd be able to from what you're seeing about the situation on the planet. He's going to have to do some frontier refueling by skimming a gas giant.
So does he want to come down with us in our ship then, or
he would? You ask him, and you see he kind of turns a little bit pale, and he's like, "My adventuring days are over."
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure that I'd be more of a detriment, but if you weren't going to come, I would have to go down myself, and I'd be willing to do that for my friend Farish, but I think he's got a much better chance with you guys.
Okay, that's cool.
So
have we switched to transponders yet?
That was going to be my next question. You want to swap transponders?
I do want to swap transponders, and once it's done, I want to warn him not to go to, where the fuck were we? Aaron? Yeah.
So this is going to be 4 rolls for Keith and AX-57. If AX-57 is helping Keith, you get boon dice. So the first roll is electronics, sensors, plus intellect or EDU. Your choice.
Okay. Okay, so 12.
Okay. Go ahead and make a mechanics check plus intellect or EDU. So the first part is making sure that it doesn't set off an alarm and set off a self-destruct on your ship, because it is highly illegal to remove remove a transponder. The second part is that the mechanics of removing it.
Okay, well, so we got an 8, or I got an 8.
Okay. For mechanics, you got an 8?
For mechanics.
Okay. So yeah, you are able to disconnect this thing and pull it out, and you go across the docking bladder over to this leaky bucket. And then you're going to do that again. Go ahead and make an electronics, I guess, comms plus EDU or intellect check.
Okay.
With a boon.
Okay. 13.
Okay. So the leaky bucket's not going to explode. I'm sorry, it's actually going to be 6 rolls. So then go ahead and make a mechanics check.
Okay, that was 14.
No problem. And last, make another mechanics check with a boon, because you're plugging the other one in.
Okay. 11.
Okay. And last but not least, make an electronics comms check plus intellect or EDU with a boon dice to make sure that Leaky Bucket doesn't flip its shit.
10.
Okay. Sam's Leaky Bucket now is broadcasting that it is IISS Obi-Wan Jabrobi.
Yay.
Okay, now we warn him. Don't go to an urine.
Yeah, don't go to an urine. You probably want to maybe skip over Tech World. Maybe.
If anyone catches me, just say someone worked on my ship, and now ever since I get pulled over all the time.
So swapping the transponders takes you another 5 hours.
Okay, fair enough.
And Sam thanks you profusely, offers to make you guys dinner. All he's got is protein paste, but he's got plenty of flavor packets. He's got, beef oriental noodles. So your protein packets will taste like beef oriental noodles.
That's what I have for dinner.
And he's got soy calf coffee, so...
No power breakfast, though. It's fucking shame.
No power breakfast. Not aboard the Leaky Bucket. Can't afford that. Have you guys seen? There's all these ads on Facebook. Maybe it's just me that keeps getting them, but there's this company that's trying to promote basically cocoa beans instead of coffee. Have you seen those?
No, I've got ones that have mushrooms instead of coffee.
Oh.
Like mud water.
Yeah, I'm like,
It's really called mud.
Yeah, I'm like, no, that's okay. I'll just keep making my own personal blend of nice espresso beans and salted caramel coffee. Thanks.
And it's like, oh, well, this way you don't have caffeine. And it's like, bitch, I want to inject that caffeine straight into my veins.
I know, right? Right. Well, now, like, if you like, if you like seltzer water, AHA has caffeinated seltzer water now.
Ooh.
Right?
I wonder if you can put that through a coffee maker.
Use the caffeinated seltzer water instead of regular pot of water. My coffee's caffeinated and bubbly, motherfucker. I wonder what the heat would do to the carbonation.
And I would call it teacher juice.
I'd have to go over my chemistry courses to see what heat would do to the carbonation.
It would mess it up.
It would. I think it would. Yeah.
Well, it would make it go faster because it makes gases expand
Right.
at a faster rate. But it might be able to be overcome if you just put a shitload of it in there.
Or cold brew it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you keep cold brew it. That would probably work.
That'd be cool.
That sounds completely unpleasant. It's not right. I just invented Jolt Cola. So
I carbonated milk a while ago though, so there's been worse ideas.
yeah, So in the last sci-fi game I ran, which was Alternity, Jeff's character there was a drink that he would order. It was basically like a White Russian, but it was a mix between a White Russian and Adios Motherfucker, but with milk carbonated with nitrous oxide.
What? Ew.
Yeah, right. Yeah, hideous sounding drink, but it was very popular.
So since we've been up here for a couple of days and I'm thumbing through voicemails, is there any sign of Baron Moore in the messages?
Go ahead and make a communications check.
Because now that we've got days and days of whining voicemail,
Yeah,
I feel like
you've basically got like a day and a half's worth of voicemails.
Yeah. Ooh, 6, 7, 8.
So yeah, after going through numerous messages about extending the warranty on your scout ship, you get a message from Baron Jolstein Moore giving you authorization to land at his his city's personal landing pad and some landing coordinates. Now, you check, you got the message. You get to also make an electronic sensors check.
So if I have electronic comms
Uh-huh.
at 1, then do I have sensors at 0, or can I tell Keith to go check the sensors?
You have sensors at 0.
Can I still go tell Keith to go check the sensors?
Yeah, you could say we've got these coordinates.
Yeah.
Well, I got the best sensors, I thought.
Do you have the best sensors? I was sitting sensors engineer. You might have the best.
I got 2 sensors and 1 life support.
So not only that, but you guys are on a scout ship, and scout ships have military sensors. So there's an additional +2 that is added to that.
Nice.
Okay, so rolled 8, 2 more is 10.
So you scan the coordinates that Baron Moore gave you. There is no auto docking sensor or anything like that that's transmitting anything from orbit. What you're seeing is that it is just a landing pad with some beacon lights.
VIP, let's do this.
It's basically a sandblasted plateau that somebody's spray painted a circle and a big X on it, and like put up some like solar lights.
All right, let's go.
I feel like one of us needs to put on the extra battle dress.
I have my good armor and stuff, and
Everybody needs to put their best on, because I think if this is going to be Thunderdome, which, by the way, and I know this is a horrible thing to admit, is when I refer to the waterfront as Thunderdome.
Thunderdome, yes.
And
You mean our battle drome?
We used to walk down there and joke about killing geese and making giant capes out of the feathers of the Canadian geese down there and becoming queens of Thunderdome. That was our apocalypse plan.
So the other thing that you pick up, Captain Beth, when you scan this landing site is that the Geiger counter is going brrrr.
Yeah. I do have anti-rad drug. Do you take that before or after our DNA is twisted around? Like
Well,
pretzels?
your combat armor you have combat armor, right?
Yes.
So combat armor, even at its lowest level, will protect against 85 rads.
Okay, but these people are going to be mutants or like cancerous or stupid or something.
Oh, they're going to be levers.
Yeah, they're going to have tumors that throw faces and talk to us.
Start the reactor, Quaid.
It's not going to be a good scene, I guess.
This is a real quick in and out.
This is how bad of a human being I am. My wife and I were at Winco shopping, and there was a really ugly woman, and that's what I said. I turned to her and I said, "Start the reactor, Quaid," and she just starts laughing. She's like, "You're awful."
Oh man! As long as they don't hear you, I'm okay with mean comments.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yes, we talk behind people's backs all the time.
That's just our karma that's affected. We're not hurting anyone's feelings.
That's right. Exactly. Exactly. So
I want to bring the steward bot to try and seem more advanced because that'll probably impress them.
So Xing-Chi, what level of vac suit skill do you have?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm +1.
I got 2.
You can't use the battle dress unless you want to be at serious detriment for anything you do, because it requires vac suit too.
Okay, well then I'm gonna it.
Fuck yeah!
And the next time I get a point to add, I'll put it in back.
Okay.
So for now, it's battle dress for sure.
So
Let's try to not get in a fight though, because I've never had to deal with battle dress or figuring out if it got past it or not.
Right. Well, and this is just battle dress. You haven't put anything on it yet. So, I mean, it's just armor. You don't have like any of the nifty big guns or anything. So,
All right, that's true.
so everybody in combat armor, I take it?
Yes.
Okay. So, Ching-Shi.
Everybody else.
Yeah. So, Keith, do you have combat armor?
I have combat armor.
Okay, so I guess everybody's in combat armor. All right, so Ching-Shi, make a piloting plus dex check because you're flying down and trying to land on this landing pad.
13.
Okay, so you come down and the sensors are indicating as you're flying through this cloud layer. Several of these clouds are irradiated. So there's acid rain. There's all sorts of terrible shit that comes down on this world. They really fucked it up. And this is the landing pad. Now, the landing pad is about 2 miles from this, what they call Moore's City. But as you come in for a landing, your sensors are indicating that Moore's City looks more like a shanty town or adobe brick town. It's not any city that you would indicate. But you put down the Jabroni, which is now Sam's Leaky Bucket, on the landing pad, and this is what you see. Obviously, you're not going to walk the 2 miles, and so you disengage the air raft. Hold on just a moment here.
Can we summon Captain Planet?
You what?
Captain Planet.
I want to summon him.
Captain Planet, he's the hero.
Oh, God.
Solution down to 0.
That you know that song is scary.
I do too. I do
know
too.
it
I
was
watched
on cable.
that. It was produced by Ted Turner. That's how much attention I paid to that.
And voiced by LeVar Burton.
And Jeff
That's right.
Played like this evil rat being. It was, all these celebrities tried to get in on that, and it was the least inspiring.
The most uncool cartoon they could ever get in on.
Yeah, I watched it to make fun of it, more or less. It was something, man.
I watched it to make
Oprah.
fun.
Gaia, remember the Earth Spirit was Oprah?
It was Whoopi Goldberg.
No, wait, was it Oprah or Whoopi Goldberg? Whoopi Goldberg
Whoopi
was
Goldberg. I would bet, I don't know what, on it, a beer. Which basically means if I lose, I'm going to get up and go get a beer.
You got, yeah, you know.
Goldberg. I messed that up. Crap. Okay, well, just ignore me then.
That means Captain Beth has to email all of us a beer.
I'll do that then.
My buddy had posted a picture on Facebook today where his rabbit tipped over an empty can. He's like, "Oh, thank God, the rabbit's throwing around, and thank God this can was already empty. I already drank it." And I'm like, "Is that a White Claw? What happened to you?"
The bunny
Like,
keeps
damn
taking
it.
intervention.
Did the bunny knock it out of your purse? What is going on? Why do you have a White Claw? So you guys land and disembark as the air raft kind of comes out. There's a special docking bay, and it comes out of the Jabroni. And you see that there are these two scummy-looking thugs. And this guy over here is a dock worker, and he's got this big, it looks like a sewage PVC pipe that is plugged into a well. And he comes over and he's like, "Oh, here, I'll refuel your ship."
No, that's okay. We're good.
Are you sure?
I want your poop fuel in our ship.
The Baron says that refueling is free for you.
I don't think we're.
I mean, essentially, even if the water is irradiated, if he plugs it into your fueling system, your processing plant will purify the water.
Okay, so it won't hurt anything.
Now,
Go nuts.
If we're sure.
I mean, it looks like he's going to have more of a problem with leaks than you are.
Enjoy. We accept
So,
your
he
generous offer.
He comes over and he clamps it onto your refueling port, and he literally goes over and starts going up and down with this pump by hand, pumping water into your hold. It's probably going to take him 3 or 4 days to do this.
Well, luckily he has that honor of he can tell his grandkids that he probably live to have grandkids given the radiation. Probably can't have grandkids. He will tell his mutant mer children that he wants that to fuel
his name shall be Noop Noop.
Yeah, that's right.
And this thug it has a push cart, and there are all of these refilled dirty water bottles in it. And he comes over to Ching Shi and he's like, "Would you like a drink of water?"
It's gonna be a hard pass, bud. Thanks.
Your loss.
It was slightly generous of you, but no, thank you. I just topped off myself today.
And like the water's like tinted brown in all of these like Aquafina bottles.
It's like Fallout, yeah. I get
Yeah,
it.
it is, yeah.
Yeah, that's all the water in Fallout. That's the best water.
So, question: does any of you have the drive grav skill? Do you have drive at all?
Drive. I do not have drive. I have flyer and I have pilot.
Drive at 0. Jack of all trades makes it 0 for me. So no, not really.
Yeah, I would say.
Let me double check. Maybe it is flyer skill I'm looking for. Oh, it is. It's flyer grav. My bad.
Yeah. No.
Does anybody have flyer at all?
I do.
So, flyer, you would have flyer grav at 0. So, looks like Ching Shi's driving.
Sweet. And we're going 2 miles to town?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if I did a graphic, but this and I'm going to blow up the icon of this air raft. This is so next year, and I think it's going to be just before spring. They are coming out with a updated edition of the core rulebook, and they've got new artwork. This is the artwork for the new air raft. Much more sporty model. Looks like leather interior.
Yeah.
Nice.
Probably has heated seats. Flip up headlights. It looks like a Mitsubishi Eclipse, like had the tires ripped off and the roof and was turned into a land speeder.
I dig it. So I got an 8.
Okay. So you guys go zip and take off to the next map.
Ew. I don't like the giant spiders. Sorry, I'm not looking. I'm not previewing.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So you kind of hover into town, and does anybody have Streetwise?
Oh, I took a level of Streetwise when we lost Wrath.
Okay. So Ching Shi, go ahead and make a Streetwise plus intellect check.
12.
So you pull into town and you kind of lean out of the air raft and you're like, "Hey, citizen on the street." and you see somebody selling, these weird potato-shaped, maybe they're melons, maybe they're squash, you're not sure. You're like,
as long as I don't have to eat it. I don't want to touch anything. I want to put paper down on anything I touch.
You're like, where do I find Baron Moore? And they're like, oh, just head up the street. You'll find him in the local cantina. And sure enough, you get to the end, and it's kind of like the titty twister in Dusk Till Dawn. There are little jet flames that shoot up, and there's all these people milling around, and so you park your air raft and you step out. This room, these walls are transparent, and you can see that it is some kind of large aquarium with two gigantic robotic spiders moving around inside. And you're not entirely sure that they're robotic. They might be cybernetic, but you're not sure. And you see a guy here that is standing guard with what looks like a chunk of lead pipe with a knife stuck on the end of it. This guy, however, has 2 Gauss pistols. And then there's a stairwell that leads up. And this guy waves towards you and says, come on. And he's got these 2 Gauss pistols in cross-draw shoulder straps.
Okay, so he's definitely like official because he doesn't have a lead pipe with a knife taped to it as his weapon.
Well, he's special in some way.
Okay, I guess we'll follow him. There's nowhere else to go, so let's do it.
Yeah, but let's have our android boop beep at him a little bit so that we can be impressive and technology savvy. Just a few little boops and beeps and pew pew.
So he tells you, he's like, no long arms. And he's got like a circular wheel with locking boxes. He says, leave your rifles here. And he opens up a lockbox. And
is there a lockbox in the raft?
I'm sorry, what?
Is there a lockbox in the raft? I'd really rather not have him hold the keys to our guns.
Oh no, he'll give you a key.
I'm fine leaving it, but can we lock it in the raft where we've got the keys to it?
You could do that, yeah.
Okay, because I'm fine with there being no advanced combat rifle rule. That's fine, but I don't want him to be the holder of the keys for our weapons.
You're allowed to have sidearms and knives only.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
And he points over at the aquarium and he says, if you end up in there, we'll arm you. Ha ha ha.
Gross. Okay.
All right. So you guys lock your rifles in the car and you come down. You come up through this stairwell. There's a door here. You see that there is a waitress and a couple of private rooms behind you. You see that there's a private room here and a private room here, and there's a guard here outside that door, and a stairwell leading down into the bar area. And as you are going down into the bar area, the band starts to play. I don't know if you can hear that.
Nope, don't hear anything. I'm imagining Boy George cover band.
Ooh, I was only imagining the cantina music. I like Boy George better.
It's probably like heavy metal or something, right? Or I want to hear it, dude.
Are you not hearing it?
No.
That's weird. Hold on here.
Is it a Roll20 setting? Like if we receive audio from Roll20, we'll be able to hear it?
It shouldn't be. Well, and that's weird too, because now it just disappeared.
It's probably like Guar, and instead of wearing masks, that's just the effect of the radiation on their faces. Or like Slipknot.
Yeah, probably.
Or Insane Clown Posse.
Are we imagining
Where they
everything?
work.
Miracles.
Yeah, weird.
That reference was not missed because that would be embarrassing. I mean, it's embarrassing to make an ICP reference. It's worse to make an ICP reference and nobody gets.
If it's like a weird subculture, I know about it. That's for sure. I went to high school with several juggalos, actually. So that's weird. But
Well, this is actually my old band. Actually, I played keyboards on this song. So-
oh man, I really want to hear it.
No, I really want to hear it.
Shit.
well, it'll be on the final video.
For my friend Bachelorette Zoom, we got a cameo of one of the ICP sending a message to her specifically.
Nice.
It was amazing. It was real profound.
It's the big one.
The big guy. I can't remember his name.
Shaggy Two Dope is the skinny one. I don't remember the big guy though.
Yeah, Jay, like.
Oh.
He said for a happy marriage, one's ahead.
Violent J.
Yeah, Violent J.
Wait, I know why. I know why. Real quick, on the upper right-hand corner of your Roll20, click on the gear icon. And scroll all the way down. And for audio source for receive. So I want to receive from others, select audio. Or video and voice, I guess.
Yeah, video and voice.
Try that.
Let's do this.